Italian tomato sauce. Hi everyone, welcome to Sanjeev Kapoor Khazana. I'm Chef Chinu and I'm here to teach you the ABC of basic cooking. Today we're going to make Italian tomato sauce, a classic Italian pasta or pizza dish which every Italian mama knows how to make, and you should know how to make it too. So to start with, we need olive oil, fresh tomatoes, fresh basil, chopped onion, chili flakes, white sugar, black pepper powder, chopped garlic, dry oregano, white salt. So the first basic thing is, how do you peel these tomatoes? It's a very simple process called blanching. I have my water on the boil here. I'm going to put salt in it. Salt is extremely important in blanching water. I'm going to just quickly take out the middle part of the tomato and give it a quick cross like this. This will make it easier to peel once it's in there and out of there. So let me get all my tomatoes ready. Now my tomatoes are ready to be blanched. Blanching is a process where in boiling water with a lot of salt, you put something to be quickly cooked, quickly steamed, quickly boiled, to peel it, or if it's a green vegetable, to cook it without losing its that beautiful green color, which is the chlorophyll in it, and which often gets oxidized as you keep cooking it. So what we want to do is fix the color of the vegetable, keep it fresh, but cook it a little bit. And anyway, this tomato sauce is going to ideally cook for hours and hours, like how Italian mamas do. So we don't need to fully cook the tomatoes at this point. We just need to cook them enough that the skin gets loosened on top. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to get a bowl of ice water to dunk these tomatoes in straight out of the pot. And so they'll be easy enough for me to handle and I won't burn myself basically. And of course, the point of cold water is to stop them from cooking. Like if you have asparagus or spinach or bok choy or something you want to cook really quickly, you want to maintain that crunch that it has, you need to put it in cold water, and that will stop this heat that is going through it. It'll just stop it completely. I think the tomatoes are done. All you have to look at is the skin looking like it's easy to peel off at this point or not? And I think it is, so let's put it straight into ice water. And this is the base for any good tomato sauce. Use good fresh tomatoes. Of course, in Italy they use these lovely plum Roma tomatoes or Pomodoro tomatoes, which are beautiful, but these tomatoes don't look so bad either. And now you'll see how easy it is to peel this tomato. The skin just comes right off like that, and you don't burn your fingers. So by the magic of the internet, I not only have peeled tomatoes, I have a tomato puree made out of the peeled tomatoes. So this is exactly what you need for your tomato sauce. You need a thick, not very thin. You don't need to add any water into it, nothing. Just put it in the mixer and that's done. Let's start our Italian pasta, pizza, tomato sauce. This is one of the basic things you need to know in the kitchen to make so many different dishes. You can make a lovely tomato pasta out of it. You can make a lasagna. You can make a cannelloni. You can make a ravioli. You can make a tomato with a chicken. You can make a passata. You can make a arrabbiata. This is one of the basic sauces of Italian cooking. And this is another essential element of Italian cooking. Olive oil, aglio olio. And what we're going to do is we're going to saute off our garlic and onions, add in the tomato, let it simmer for a bit, let it cook down, let it get a little chunky and reduced. And then we're going to add our seasonings, which is oregano, chili flakes, a little bit of salt, sugar. And right in the end, we're going to put in some fresh basil. Okay, let's go with the garlic. And if you go to Italy, I'm sure every Italian will tell you that his mama makes it better. But this is basically what they do. It's fresh tomatoes, garlic, strong flavors. that little bit of basil in the end just for the freshness. And what I love about this tomato sauce is that you can freeze it really easily. I remember when I was in school, my mom used to make pizza sandwiches for me when I came back out of the same tomato sauce, which she used to just have in the freezer at all times. I'm now putting in the onion. Now I want my onion and garlic to really cook down, become soft before I add the tomato sauce. This kind of caramelization that I'm getting is very important. So as you can see now, it's become really nice, brown, caramelized. Into this, we are going to put our tomato puree. Now remember not to wear a white t-shirt when you're making tomato sauce. Very important advice. And now this sauce is just going to be left on its own. Sometimes the best thing you can do with food is not to do anything to it. Don't keep trying to add something or stir it or anything. Just once in a while come, make sure it's not sticking to the bottom, it's not over reducing, it's not burning. Usually you'll be able to smell if it's burning before you watch it burning, so you're pretty safe there. On a low gas, just let this reduce. I'm just going to add a little salt at this point, because at every stage in your cooking, it's very important to keep seasoning your food. Be a little hesitant in the beginning. Don't overdo it, because you can always add some salt later. But if we don't add some salt at this point, the flavor will not have the depth that it would if you just added it in the end. That's the point. Look at that. That is the perfect consistency. About half has reduced. So all that water content has gone and you're left with just like this rich tomato sauce. And now to this, the seasoning, which is the most crucial and important part of any cooking. Little more salt, because remember we had put some salt in the beginning. Black pepper. If you have one of those lovely pepper mills, you can of course crush some fresh black pepper onto it. Again, all this depends on your taste. If you don't like the taste of strong black pepper, put a little bit. If you don't like too much chili flakes, put less of that. If you don't like the taste of oregano, make this sauce your own basically. But don't change the recipe too much. Otherwise, there'll be some Italian mama's ghost roaming around somewhere who will be very angry with you. Chili flakes. Now what we're trying to achieve here is that kind of spicy, sour, sweet balance, because you have the highly acidic tomatoes, and especially our Indian tomatoes are like, it's like eating a lemon sometimes, they're that sour. So you need to balance it out with enough sugar. In fact, I'm going to put a tablespoon of sugar. And you might wonder, like, this is a bit weird, but in fact, a lot of sauces have sugar in them for this same reason, to balance out the acidity and to really get a sweet-sour combination going. Oregano, the staple of any Italian kitchen, of any Italian cupboard, closet, pantry, anything. I'm sure you can find it in Italian suitcases when they're traveling. I carry it sometimes actually. Oregano, soya sauce, because you never know where you might be cooking in the world, right? It's always good to have a little travel chef's box, you know, and a good knife. And your recipe book, because very often you're like, oh, I'll make this and that, and then you're like, how did I make it again? Now as you can see, the sauce is thickening. It's looking very yummy. For this, I'm going to cut up some basil just to put it in at the end. So here are my basil leaves. If you can't find fresh basil, by all means use dry basil. If you can't find dry basil, leave it out. This tomato sauce, just tomato, sugar, onion, garlic, chili flakes. That's all you need to make a really good tomato sauce. All this other stuff is just to add to that flavor. So what I'm doing here is just piling up the basil leaves one on top of the other like this. And this is what in chefy terms is called a chiffonade, where you roll up the leaves and then you slice them. So we're just going to roll that up like this. And then we're going to cut them into these like ribbon shapes. And always remember to cut your herbs with a really sharp knife, because the more you crush them, the more black they're going to become. So if you want to keep them really nice and fresh and green, remember a sharp knife is very important. Okay, I think we can, in fact, switch this off. Put in these fresh basil ribbons or chiffonade in there. Just look at that. A thick, almost like roasted tomato pasta or pizza sauce, which we are going to taste to see if it needs anything. Yummy. That's perfect. So how do you eat an Italian tomato sauce? With pasta, of course. Bene. So, like any self-respecting person, I hope next time you make you don't have to make your own pasta dough, although you can, it's really fun. But I hope you make your own tomato sauce at least, yeah? Boil the pasta, 5 minutes to make tomato sauce. You don't need to buy any of those bottled things. And you can feel like you're in Roma or Napoli. Some fresh basil, garlic, tomato. It's just beautiful. Look at it. Look at the color. And with no preservatives. Because all those red tomato sauces that you buy in the supermarket are full of preservatives. Here you are. Proper Italian tomato sauce for pizzas or pastas.